Hey there. So for the next 3 weeks, I'm going to do a small series of videos talking about practical, actionable things that you can do to get the ball rolling on the law of attraction. Everybody knows the basic tenet of the law of attraction, which is that most people say what's out there is the cause and that how you feel is the effect. But what the law of attraction is saying is how you feel is the cause and what's out there is the effect. So how can I change how I feel? All right, well, that's what we're going to do over the next 3 weeks. Practical, actionable advice to get the ball rolling on this stuff. And so this week it's going to be how to cut out, I guess, what you would call toxic influences, right? How to cut that kind of stuff out, right? Get yourself out of certain situations, etc. And then next week it's going to be, okay, how do I cultivate good experiences, things that do inspire joy and bring satisfaction into my life so that I can feel an emotional state of satisfaction, right? How do I cultivate wholesome relationships, situations, things like that. And then the third week, it's going to be the practical application of kind of the energy work, if you will, which is a real thing. Cultivating emotional states. What does that look like? You know, maybe I'll just share with you what I like to do to cultivate emotional states, the tools that I use, situations I put myself into, right? Actionable stuff, my habits, my routines, this kind of thing to cultivate these energies. So today we're talking about in this video, and I'm going to, by the way, I will link down below over the next 3 weeks. I will link down below the other 2 videos as we're going along. So if you're watching this video brand new and you want to also watch video 2 and 3, they will be down below if they have been published. When they are published, you will find those links down below. So today we're basically talking about how to cut toxicity out, how to get rid of things that are sucking your energy dry, right? And then next week it's going to be how to bring things into your life that are bringing value, that are adding to your energy. So let's just start with the people that you're hanging out with and the social media influencers that you're watching. It's a real obvious one. So there's a saying that you are the sum total of the 5 people you spend the most time with. And that's absolutely true. And that also includes, what are you watching on the internet, on YouTube? What kind of books are you reading? Are you reading books? What are you doing with your time? Who are you spending it with, including online, right? Taking a critical look at that. And people, they don't, I think, stop to really focus on this stuff. This sounds so obvious, but most people don't even take the time to think about this. Well, tell you what, you're not a dumb robot. Maybe it's time you did that. Guys, I cut all kinds of toxic people out of my life, and it starts with recognizing who is toxic in your life. And just in case you are the kind of person who is kind of the way that I used to be, right? We all want to be nice. We all want to be kind. And I try to be as kind and considerate to everybody. Kind and considerate as I can possibly be. But that said, I found myself in situations in my previous life, right? So before my spiritual awakening, where I would latch on to people that weren't really good for me. And I thought they were good for me, right? And I guess that's what you would call being too nice. Like, I don't want to stop being their friend because that's not nice. And they would even shame me when I backed away from them or told them, I don't think we should be friends anymore. I can't believe you're throwing away this friendship. How dare you? And I realized that I was dealing with narcissism. And of course, a narcissist is going to say something like that. They're toxic. They're manipulative. And then when you try to leave, they tell you you're bad for leaving. How could you do this to me, right? They paint themselves out to be the victim. And guys, if you're not sure if you're that kind of person, if you're the one that's being manipulated by people like that, I'll make it really easy for you. Do they make you feel good or bad? Do they bring value to your life? Or do they just make you feel bad and shamed? Real simple. Write those things down. Do they make me feel good or bad? Do they bring value to my life, or do they make me feel bad and shamed and guilty, or like not good enough? How do they make me feel? Because here's the thing, these people that I was keeping around in my life were so manipulative that I thought of them as close personal friends, and they're just the best friends I've ever had, and you know, these are great people and they mean a lot to me, and we're awesome and you're awesome, and these are my close friends, right? Well, if they're such good friends, why do I always feel like shit when I'm around them? How come there's no congruency between how I feel and what I think? And heart-brain coherence is a big deal when it comes to the law of attraction. You guys know how much I talk about that, and I'm always talking about it, up to and including telling you how to cultivate that kind of state in your heart. And that's why you always see law of attraction gurus talking about doing visualizations and stuff like that. But the missing component, of course, is how you feel, which is everything. That's the most important part, because how you feel is exactly what the universe is going to match. The subconscious mind, the emotional body, is what the universe is going to match. So again, I'm going to invite you to assess your relationships, and you don't need to be too overly critical, but just think about it. Put some thought into it. Maybe it's time to tell some of these people goodbye, even family. I've unfortunately had to let certain family members go. That was really tough, but well, they consistently make me feel bad, make me feel like I'm not good enough. And I gotta say, when I look at my life's accomplishments, I know that it's not true that I'm not good enough. I look at everything that I've done, all the talents and skills that I have. Think about it, guys. Make a list even if you need to. Write it down, all the amazing feats that you've accomplished. I'm sure you can think of a lot of different things. So for somebody to be telling you something like that, maybe this person isn't who they appear to be. Maybe you're dealing with somebody who is manipulative. Guys, cut those people out. Learn a thing called healthy boundaries. It's not mean, right? Like the one friend who shamed me for telling him, I don't want to talk to you anymore. You're bad, you're mean. Okay. No, you're bad and you're mean. That's why I don't want to talk to you anymore. Get this stuff straight in your head, guys. And of course, next week we're going to talk about cultivating friendships and relationships that are good for you, that are actually enriching to your life, and also habits. So let's talk about habits too in this video. How much time are you spending on your phone? I know, everybody says it. Guys, really, how much time though? And don't tell me, oh, it's hard, it's too hard. I just do it, it's just too hard. You can do it. You can do it. You know what's hard? Touching the moon. Think about it. I got this from Jim Rohn. If you want to check him out, I highly recommend it. He's a motivational speaker. Jim Rohn, R-O-H-N. Right? I got to meet him once. He said, a bird must fly south for the winter. A bird can't change. You can change. A bird not flying south for the winter, that's hard. Why? Because it's impossible. You can change. It's easy to do. It's just that it's also easy to not do. So, again, if I jump hard enough, I should be able to touch the moon. No, that's hard to do. Why? Because it's impossible. But not spending more than 5 minutes on my phone a day, like scrolling through social media, unless you're doing something constructive, right? 5 minutes, right? Putting that rule in place and sticking to it. It's not hard. Why? Because it's not impossible. It's easy to do. It's just that it's easy to not do also. That's from Jim Rohn. So thinking in this way is very, very different, that you can change and you can cut out bad habits. And another thing, I'm going to end on this note. This is extremely important, guys. Whatever you do, the relationships, the people, the habits that you cut out, the things that you're going to stop doing, the things that are bad for you, right? Don't expect perfection from yourself. All of life is an ebb and flow. If you fall off the bandwagon a few times, don't worry about it. Don't be hard on yourself. If you take a step back, right? 2 steps forward, 1 step back. 2 steps forward, 1 step back, right? It's fine. It's fine. Just get back on track as soon as you catch yourself, right? That's all you have to do, and just stay committed to this end game of cutting out all of these kind of toxic and negative influences. Stand guard at the gate of your mind, my friends. Don't let any junk in there. You owe it to yourself for the best possible life you can live. I'll be back next week.